Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Neremik. Welcome back to more of the greatest Chronicles. Last time, we haven't taken a month to get around to this one, but I believe we're getting very close to the end of the trial. So, we're going to hop into history just to see where we were at. So, carriage door was not heard opening a single time as testified by the witnesses in the stand, but the body was found inside the carriage. If the thief's words are to be believed, how do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside the cabin of the omnibus? So, basically, what they're saying is, if it isn't McGilded, and they didn't use the doors, how else did the body get in there? So we could say he was in there already, there's another entrance, or he was put there after he died. We'll try this one. Obviously, the victim must have been placed in the carriage after he was killed.
Objection!
Tell me, my Lillian friend, what was the function of that, obviously, in your last sentence? Well said, Lord Van Zeeks. The obviously is troubling me also. No, that's really not the point. The point is that the victim must have been moved into the carriage afterwards. Then answer me this. How could a cadaver have been placed inside a moving carriage? Well, obviously. I shall have to penalise the defense heavily for this irrelevant ramble. No! I was about to hit the point. It was learned to ramble more relevantly. Right, the penalty is evidently not heavy enough, judging from those nipping his eyes. So I ask you again. If this petty thief's words are to be believed, how do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside the cabin of the omnibus? So, okay, it's the other one though. Right, dot. There's only one way to explain how the victim came to be in the carriage. There's another entrance. If the door wasn't opened even once, the only explanation is that the victim entered the enclosed cabin some other way.
Objection!
I wondered what new fantasy you'd come up with this in your blind panic. But behold, the omnibus is here for all to see. Only one side of the enclosed cabin is furnished with a door, the other has only windows. Fixed windows which cannot possibly open. In short, there is no entrance to the cabin other than the door.
Objection!
But there could be. There's one possibility you haven't considered. Oh, really? Yes, one other way inside there isn't the door. Another opening, the use of which allowed the victim to appear inside the enclosed cabin. Alright, Counsel. The defense will identify the location for the court. Here is the omnibus on which the incident occurred. Where on earth is this entrance by which you propose the victim entered the cabin? Well, of course, if it wasn't the door, and it can't be any of the windows on the walls, then the only other place it can really be is the window on the roof.
Take that!
The answer is obvious! It can only have been the skylight. I say, the skylight?
Objection!
Your ludicrous proposal almost has me lost for words. However,
Objection!
the skylight may well be large enough for someone to pass through.
Objection!
So you claim, but do you have a shred of evidence to support your idle-brain theory? Both Mr. McGilded and Miss Lestrade said in the same testimony, they each claim to have heard a loud thud such as the noise made by someone falling to the floor. Yes, which has already been explained, as the sound of the victim falling from his seat having been assaulted with a dagger. Yes, it has, but would a man slipping from the seat onto the floor really have made such a loud noise as the witnesses describe? A noise loud enough to cause Miss Lestrade to let out an involuntary cry, in fact. Good gracious! Perhaps, in fact, that was the moment that the victim made his entrance into the cabin. No, let me rephrase that. The victim didn't enter the cabin as such. He fell into it!
Objection!
You're now suggesting that the victim fell from the skylight into the cabin? That's simply impossible. How can you be so sure? Because if the victim had fallen inside through the skylight as you say, the passengers on the roof deck would have seen it happen. And yet, not one person made mention of such events in their testimony. Well, yes, that's true, but might a humble fella make a wee comment here? But Mr. McGilded. To be sure now, the two fellows who were sat on the roof that testified afore said nothing of the victim falling through the skylight. But it seems to me, my lord, that is not so much a case of them not saying, but... Aye. It is a case of them being unable to say. Oh, what? I think perhaps the two fellas do be having something of a compelling reason not to mention what happened. Wouldn't yous agree, fine ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Oh my goodness, surely not. They're those two chaps on the roof. You mean, the ones who stuck the knife in that man were... Ah! Just what exactly are you insinuating here, you blitherer? You rotter, you said, you rotter. What are you insinuating? This is a flaming outrage. I've had a good mind to give you a blinker in a minute. He'll give you a shiner in a minute, he said, and so will I. Mr. Fairplay, you're effectively accusing me, a sissy gentleman and well-respected banker. And me, a very angry hatter. Suggesting that someone like me could have stabbed that man in the guts. It's a disgrace! It's scandalous! It's... I protest in the strongest possible terms. That's right, I protest too, you rotten scoundrel! Order! This is not the time, witnesses. I will not permit this wanton invasion of the stand. Return to the anteroom at once. Yeah, but this is beyond reason, my lord. It's outrageous! It's very hurtful, you know. My lord, if I may comment... Go ahead, Lord Van Zieks. It was the defense that incited this outburst from the witnesses. My learned friend has seen fit to abandon all protocol and accuse the witnesses without proof. Accuse? I never intended to. It seems, young Nickpennies, that your command of the English tongue is waning. You propose to this court that the victim fell through the skylight from the roof deck of the omnibus? That hypothesis cannot possibly stand without the rooftop passengers being aware of such events. You have branded these gentlemen liars. You have intimidated their criminal guilt. In our British courts of law, that is what is termed a baseless accusation. I know it was rash to put this idea forward without any actual evidence, but... You can't just dismiss it without a second thought. What are we wasting time for? Get them to... testify! Oh, I thought there was something fishy about that act from the moment I laid eyes on the fellow. We have to see this matter through now, one way or another. If there's filth and rubbish in our midst, we must dispose of it at once. Testify. Oh. What's happening, Mr. Naruto? Spectators in the public gallery are... they're in a complete frenzy. Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. My lord. You will take the stand again and make another formal testimony in reference to the indictment brought forward by the defense. No, yes, my lord. I didn't come here for this. There's no time to think this through. All I can do is keep pushing forward. Okay, things have taken a turn for the very, very drastic. Right, refuting the accusation. We were the only two people up on that roof deck, dead or alive, I can swear to that. If anything happened while we were sitting, don't you think one of the other of us would have noticed? In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. The scout was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? Okay, you want proof? I can give it to you. I remember this actual piece of evidence more than any other in the whole game. So, I must say that on listening to this testimony, it is somewhat hard to imagine how either witness could have performed any malevolent act on this open rooftop deck, without the other noticing forthwith. That's right, you see. We're innocent, I tell you. Although logically, of course, the argument falls down to if the two of you are in collusion with one another. What? Eh? According to the investigations by Scotland Yard, the two witnesses share no common dealings. Well, I don't trust coppers more than I trust the stinking rich. Something doesn't feel right here. The trial's going in our favour, really. So why do I feel so uneasy? Counsel for the defence, over to you. Your cross-examination, if you please. Oh, yes, my lord. I know where the contradiction is. Pointing it out might just do something we don't really want. So, first things first. Do we have... Alright, check the evidence real quick. Okay. So we don't have a unique piece of evidence for the skylight, so we're going to have to examine this in detail. But I believe if you were to come up here and then do this, you notice there's a latch on here. You investigate that, and you can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, and there's a lamp inside the enclosed cabin, so I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly. That's not good for us. I'm more interested in the fact that there is most definitely a handle there, and I want to investigate it. Okay, same deal. I want to investigate this because if they dropped a dead body through the skylight, there would be blood on it. If you get what I'm throwing down. Well, let's open the door and find out. Alright, come on. If I look up and there's blood on the skylight, I believe we've won. Okay. Anything out of the ordinary? There should be a smidge of blood here if it was dropped through. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it? Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck. And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin at least. Okay, maybe we need to do that, then come back outside and investigate that way? It's literally the only other way I can think. So if I just need to be a bit more off to the side. Okay, I can certainly see the thing from here. Okay, no, so they're not doing it, we just need to press this. So, the other one noticed, in any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We have no reason to kill them. That's true. Right, the skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it. I'm gonna say lie on that one because, in fact, there is a handle there.
Objection.
Okay, this is alarmingly close. Let's just consider the implications of that statement for a second. And yeah, the judge knows we're lying. What implications, Counsel? Nothing strikes me, but okay, I'm going to press that statement though because we know there's a handle on the roof deck now. I was trying to have the evidence updated to maybe increase the chance of it in going, but I need to clear my head and come at this again from a different angle. Yeah, no, they can open the skylight. The handle was on their end, so.
Hold it.
Are you quite certain about that? That the skylight was shut the entire time? I'm going to lose my block with you in a minute. He's going to lose his rag with you in a minute. That's what he said. Take a look for yourself. Go on. You see, it's shut fast now, like it was on the night. So it is, of course. If a fellow the size of Mr. Mason could literally break right through it, still and all. What? Just looking at the size of the thing, you understand. No, you hold on there a minute, sir. The size of the ting means nothing. Not on its own. Let's consider the bigger picture here, shall we? Let's stop biting our cane, shall we? I was riding the omnibus on another occasion when, well, it broke wind, wildly. I shocked myself with this as it happened. What the fuck does this mean? This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First. Oh, I just meant to say, well, the point is, I tried to open the skylight, you see. But just my luck, I couldn't make it budge. The stench was terrible. Everyone was looking daggers at me, sir. I went as red as a rouge, I did. Are you expecting me to sentence you? Oh, no, sir. The point is, the skylight can't be opened. I tried and tried when I was inside that cabin of shame.
Wait, that ain't...
Gotcha.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade? It opens. The skylight. That's what we're talking about, right? All them skylights open, dead easy. More easily than you can load that weapon. That's a lie, I tell you. Otherwise, I would have... You can't do it from inside, you mug. Oh. Look, a few weeks ago, I was up on the roof deck on one of them drags. And he had a great... I had purses coming out my ears. Miss Lestrade, this is not the form to be eulogising on the subject of your criminal activities. Well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. When I lifted the last bloke's purse, he got wise to me. All four of them surrounded me, so I couldn't opt off the top of the bus and leg it. So what I did was I used the skylight, opened the catch and just jumped right through. What? Yeah, the catch for them scouts is on the top side. That's why I can't open them from the cabin. The skylight opens from the roof deck. Bailiff! Climb onto the roof of the omnibus at once and verify this witness's claims. And we know it's true because he spent like 5 minutes investigating it. Ah! Oh, my hat! See? Oh, this gives us a few legs to stand on. Order, order, order! So it appears the street girl statement is quite true. I don't believe it. The skylight opens. And from the roof deck. Mr. Naruto, this could be the clue we've been looking for. Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. So the skylight opens. Perhaps I should investigate for myself. This is what I was trying to do before. Right, if you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? Hopefully the evidence updates and I'm actually able to just say, here, have at. So, we zoom in. She gets some new dialogue now. So the skylight was fastened shut before, but now the catch has been undone, we should be able to open it. Okay then, can we get a good angle on anything in it? Yeah, okay, look. What did I tell you? If he's dropped through and he's dead, there's got to be something there. You can suddenly see the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin, so I'm sure the witnesses will be able to see it quite clear. No, it's not. No, you fools. Okay, I think what they want me to do is this. Okay, this is open. We go in the door and we walk it up from inside the cabin. Okay, let's open the door, go inside. How many times have I seen that text in this case? Either way, if you ask me, there's something rather suspicious about the skylight. Yes, it does open very wide, doesn't it? Wide enough to kick someone like you through, certainly, Mr. Naruto. Why someone like me? Ah! What is it? Look, just here. Look at this. That's, without question, it's blood. Why would there be blood stain here? Surely, it can't be unrelated to the case, can it? The details of the omnibus have been updated in the court record. This is what I was trying to do from the beginning, but now you know where I'm at. Oh, where's my proof? Where's my proof, Mr. Fairplay? Here it is.
Objection!
On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach. And immediately afterwards, the victim's body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts, and the irrefutable proof remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us today in this very courtroom. What? That's the humbug. You can't possibly have any evidence. No, you can't. I mean, we didn't do it, I tell you. It's impossible. Irrefutable proof here in this courtroom. Counsel. My lord. I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification here, Where exactly within the omnibus is this evidence to which you allude? You will point out what it is that proves the victim fell from the roof deck through the skylight. Even though we've just done it? Okay. Okay. So just gonna make sure I'm dead on with this, because I'm on my last life.
Got it!
By Jupiter, is that blood? This bloodstain proves two things. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open. What? And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening. Oh my! And so it follows that Mr. McGilded, who was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of this crime. No! Order!
Hold it!
But, what could have spread up there when he first several steps inside the cabin? And only found its way to one peculiar spot on the skylight. Sure, and that'd be very convenient. Yeah. And let's keep it in mind that the skylight catch can only be unfastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't have been able to open it now, would I? But there's no way to know for certain, is there? If the jump really fell through the skylight, I mean... Why don't you have a good look at the floor of the cabin between the two seats, Mr. First? It's all too plain, if you see. There's the aftermath that shows the poor fellow dropped from a fair height right there, so it is. What? No! But it can't be. It's all lies!
Hold it!
My fellow jury members, I think we can all agree that this is a clear enough proof of the defendant's innocence, can't we? I believe we can, yes sir. It's clear to me now where the filthy rubbish can be found in this courtroom. So, they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they? I won't tolerate any of the guilty carriages being sullied with blood. I won't tolerate it! Oh, I always knew that nice gentleman who gave us that delightful park couldn't have possibly done such a thing. On three then, everyone. 1, 2, 3!
Objection!
A chilling performance, Mr. McGilded. Oh, and what would you be referring to there now, Lord Van Zeeks? A blood stain on the frame of a skylight. Such evidence is null and void. But what? Why? For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood never existed.
Objection!
But what are you talking about? It's there for all to see. It's clearly blood.
Objection!
I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigation of the omnibus. The officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-tooth comb. So I can state with absolute surety, no such smear of blood existed in the carriage. At least not until this trial began. But are you suggesting, Lord Van Zeeks, that this stain of blood was fabricated, my lord? Yes, while this court has been in session. What?! What a pavlour. I must say, I didn't expect such crude reasoning from a prosecutor of your standing, Lord Van Zeeks. But I'm Magnus McGilded, fellow known all over the capital for his fine contributions to public life. I don't take kindly to slander. I'll fight it till the bitter end. Even if it's rolling off the tongue of the reaper of the Bailey. Mr. McGilded, I realise that this is your first appearance in a course as the accused. However, I am well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of a dubious nature. You're very adept when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens that a case you're involved in is investigated, you adapt the facts. Adapt the facts? What does that even mean? When you wield a fortune the size of Mr. McGilded's, however ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of a crime, bribing witnesses. I toast your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir. Yeah, Lord Van Zeeks, this will not do be sure. Will it now, Counsel? Oh, no? I think it's fair to say this all does sound like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the skylight didn't exist, you say? But if you will cast your minds back, is it not true that the omnibus there has been in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone have possibly put a smear of blood in it without the world and his wife seeing? Isn't that right now, Counsel? It's true. The omnibus has been in full view the entire time that the court has been in session. My learned friend. Here's to hearing your opinion on this matter, in your own words. As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during this trial? If you're asking me, I think it could have been possible. As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defendants as best as I can, but still, I feel as though there's something even more important at stake here. There is no evidence to suggest that the defendant did as my learned friend suggests. However, In terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility. Oh!
Good gracious! Explain yourself, Counsel.
Yes, there is. It seems my learned Japanese friend has no intention of running for this deceit.
Deceit?
I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly the recess that we were forced to take. As a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade. What's going on? Be careful, Mr. Naruto. Cover your face. Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus.
I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom.
The courtroom was filled with smoke, and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke and in all the chaos, it could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus. Are you wise? What are you trying to pull, you rotten feckless gouger? Feckless? Gouger? You're supposed to be defending me. 'Tis a wicked plot. 'Tis a plot to undermine me, so it is.
Objection!
Whatever you think this is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus. Oh, sorry.
Inconsistencies, such as?
To start with, the storage compartment underneath the rear passenger seats. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of the driver's items. Secondly, we have the smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning.
Unfortunately, Lord Van Zieks, no one is able to corroborate your claims.
That's true. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and the skylight were shut.
Accordingly, I'm afraid to say, we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is the result of tampering or not.
Indeed, my lord. No doubt there was not a single person who saw it fit to verify such things. What do you think? Sorry? About the omnibus. Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus? Is there? I'm gonna say I have no idea because I don't. If I'm honest, I don't remember what I examined when in that omnibus. I can't verify this either way. My lord, at this moment in time, the defense can point out one other inconsistency. A mark that surely would not have been present at the start of the trial.
What?
Mr. Sato, what are you doing? I examined the omnibus with you, don't forget. There's something that seems out of place compared to how the carriage looked originally. That's what we need to identify now. What in the devil's name are you gonna say now? If you dare to betray me, you little maggot, you better be started watching your back!
Objection!
Silence, McGilded. The court awaits the defense's clarification. Ugh. This trial keeps switching one way, then the other. I have no idea what's truth and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here?
I shall have to ask you to elaborate, Counsel. Where exactly is this alleged mark you claim appeared at some point during the trial?
A footprint on the stairs, maybe, from when they tampered with the thing? See, is this it? It looks all indented. Can't find anything out of place. Notice lamp. Okay, so I can't leave it. It's in here. God, what was it? So this is as it was, but this is... Well, is there an alleged mark that appeared at some point during the trial? I'm gonna just examine this. That's blood that soaked into the seat. The victim's obviously. Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck. Would you be at least have somebody in full view of the other passengers like that, I wonder? Well, it was after. Oh, okay, so this is where he was actually stabbed. This is where he was stabbed and he bled out originally. In case you weren't following along, it's heavily implied, at least as of right now, that McGilded was, is guilty. But this is a different colour of blood. Is something wrong? Oh, it's just, well, this bloodstain is so obvious that it's all... And yet Van Zieks has made no mention of it. I suppose that does seem a little strange. Why do I have such a bad feeling about this? Yeah, so let's say hypothetically, that he's trying to like make this Thai story corroborate what he's saying. The only reason that this will be on the floor and not here is because to corroborate the fact he fell through the skylight. But if he didn't and he was stabbed here, the most of the blood would be here and it would be dried up like this colour, but it isn't. This is fresher blood, so I am going to put all my eggs in one basket on my final life and say that this is the mark.
Got it!
If we consider that the victim fell through the skylight onto the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood wherever he landed. But as far as I recall, this blood stain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom. Good lord! Yes, I do believe you're correct, Counsel. Well said. Although, as advocate for the defence, one might say that was a very careless slip of the tongue. I believe that bloodstain on the floor is a deceptive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether that evidence is genuine or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that there's at least a possibility that the evidence is fake. This trial is over. Mr. McGilded, I've done everything I can possibly do to cooperate with the court, but it's all over now. But you're the defendant. It's over, I tell you. Memory, recollection, what people think they saw, it's all nonsense. Facts are what counts, and the fact is, that bloodstain is there, now. Well... And over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as it has been, that good-for-nothing Reaper of the Bailey has failed to present any decisive evidence at all. I'm scandalised, so I am. I'd thought better of Lord Van Zieks. Well, my lord?
I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollection of an individual cannot stand as evidence. At this moment in time, the particular bloodstain in question is very much in existence, and in the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence, I regret to say that it would be improper for this trial to continue. Your lordship can't be serious. Lord Van Zieks, what is your position?
The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present.
Very well. In that case, as I believe we have explored every possible avenue in this matter, I shall proceed to my adjudication. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defence first.
What formality? As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGilded will be found not guilty. Yes. Which would mean we've won. Is that really the right outcome here? Is it really alright for the trial to come to an end now with all these unexplained inconsistencies?
Counsel for the defence, your closing statement, please.
Yes, my lord. The defence believes the defendant is innocent, or the defendant could be guilty. We're just going to go with the truth. I am here in this courtroom today to advocate for the defence of my client, Mr. McGilded. However, at this moment in time, I cannot in all good conscience attest fully to the defendant's innocence.
What are you saying, man?
Without any question, there is no conclusive evidence to prove that the defendant is guilty. However, there is also no conclusive evidence to prove that he is innocent.
Good gracious me! Order, order! This is unprecedented behavior, Counsel. A defense lawyer calling the accused innocence into question? Are you of sound mind?
Yeah. It was a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was a grand decision. What? I must say, I didn't expect quite such an inciting spectacle at the end there, but still. Here, have this for your troubles. Ah. Your job here is done, fella, and some fine work you've done, so you have. What do you mean? It's just as the right honourable gentleman so succulently put it before. This trial can't go on anymore. And your closing statement there was, how did you put it now? Nothing more than a formality.
I really don't know what to make of all of this. Was the evidence we've seen genuine, or was it fake?
His lordship would be fuming. Any unsightly rubbish should be disposed of improperly, as I said. A stinking rich are always guilty of something, you. Mark my words. I feel terribly ashamed as I ever doubted that lovely man who gave us the lovely park.
Now that proceedings have unfolded in this way, I am compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea.
I thank you kindly, my lord.
I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
Objection!
But we still haven't determined if the blood stain in the omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth.
Lord Van Zeeks.
My lord.
The case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place.
My sincerest apologies, my lord.
Objection!
But wait, when we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zeeks called us the evidence to be secured.
I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter.
That's so unfair.
The culpability of the defendants has not at the present time been established by this court. Consequently, if the jury will not be required to pre-offer judgment. What?
Well, Lord Van Zeeks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defence.
Do you mean to tell me this has all been a grand waste of time?
It's the law of the land, my good man. If you'd like to persuade this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law.
Magnus McGilded.
Good grief, you got more to say to me, have you?
Just one thing. A warning. This is far from over.
Well, something to looking forward to then.
I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilded, not guilty.
Now that's unsafe to set off in such a historic building. I can't believe it. This is an outrage. This would examine the evidence more.
What are you talking about? The man's been cleared. He's innocent.
With the courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict. And my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end, with the defendant being found not guilty. Ostensibly a victory for us. 18th of February, 5:14 p.m. The Old Bailey, defendants, and the chamber. Hey, we're getting awfully close to the 18th of February, actually. That certainly was a long trial. Yeah, it was. Your first ever trial on foreign soil and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations. And to you, Miss Masato, thank you for your assistance. And I suppose we should be happy. The trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened. Well, we didn't have enough time. But isn't it wrong? I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that. The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendants. You carried out your duty to perfection. Aye, that you did. Mr. McGilded. Ah, and that girl's with him too. Well, it seems the stories are true. Oh, what stories? How about the 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off when those verdicts are not guilty? I'm sure you must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say? Yeah, definitely. I hate it was a sight to behold, but be sure it was. Ah, and you've to thank, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it. Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything. What are you saying, fella? How can I walk out of here a free man then? I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning. You're a straight-talking fella, aren't you? I must say, you had me stray in the head there once or twice. But you're strong and headstrong! It's all water under the bridge. Congratulations, Mr. McGilded, on having your name cleared. But nothing's resolved. There's only one thing that matters to me. Oh? Aye. They've all seen that I didn't do that odious and abstinent deed. It's grand, is it not? I suppose it is. Now the fine fellows of Scotland Yard can take matters hand in hand and sort out any wee details. They'll see it for what it is. They'll get to the truth. I have absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages with all the taxes I'm not paying. The tax man can't catch me. It's not that funny. So then, as we agreed beforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella. Oh, no, I couldn't possibly accept that much. Yeah, be whilst. You're humble people, are you, from the east? Well, if you insist. But have this, still and all. You deserve a reward.
Mr. Magnus McGilded. Everything is ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom.
Into the courtroom? What's this, officer? It's sooner than I was led to believe.
I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule.
Well, I must be making tracks now. It's time for the inspection.
Sorry, what inspection?
They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. They're going to examine it again. Now. Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing my best to help wherever I can. It's a gentleman's duty, so it is. So then, fare thee well. It was an absolute pleasure meeting yous. I hope you can have a whale of a time while you're studying here in Great Britain. And there he goes. A free man. Oh! I forgot she was there too. Don't move! Whereas I want to say get to move on. She really does take forever to load that thing. Miss Lestrade, would you mind putting that thing down? You're a grown-up. Sorry. And I hate all grown-ups. Ah, there you are. How am I going to voice this? Naughty, naughty, running off like that. Is this some kind of picnic? Who is this brat? I'm taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Yeah. Oh, don't you want to play? You won't beat me. Excuse me, Bobo. Who are you? Oh, good day to you. I'm the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. The inventor. Well, normal smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, and more white. If you have to be shrouded in smoke, it could at least be a pretty colour, I thought to myself. Do we have to be shrouded in smoke at all, though? Like, at all? I just took my eyes off it for a moment whilst I was changing onto a different omnibus and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted it with a telegraphic beacon. I have no idea what this girl is talking about. Anyway, you're coming with me now, back to my lab. What for? To apologise, of course, silly, to my technician. What, you mean, say sorry? You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before. We're an adult? I don't listen to no adults. Come on then, follow me. Fine, have it your way. Oh good, you see, I knew you'd want to do the right thing in the end. I'm fairly sure that what she wants is to not get shot by that massive grenade gun of yours. We'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. I'm so sorry for all the fuss. She was a lively one. Well, do you think perhaps we ought to be on our way now too? Yeah, you're right. But where to? Oh, we haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner had we arrived in London than we had to rush here. Oh, our travelling cases are still with the bailiff. I was originally planning to spend today in search of lodgings, but at this late hour in the day I'm afraid we may be out of luck. Don't worry though, I have a plan. If the worst comes to worst, I've heard of a lovely park where we could spend the night. Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park. I know it may be a little chilly this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through. I'm not so sure about that. I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person's soul just as easily as an elderly one. Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable. Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilded down. That 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead, just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned. The case was far from over.
What's going on? Get the fire brigade! Water! Bring water, quick! What? How did this happen?
I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed.
No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating. No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there. Oh. Oh. This can't be.
Well, isn't that a wonderful note to end the episode on? So next time, I'm going to try and make it a bit sooner than before, I promise. We're going to be starting episode 4. And we have an achievement, the Realm of the Reaper. I would very much like to save my progress. Well, that brings us to God knows how much playtime now, but hopefully you all enjoyed. I loved that. Like, if you can't tell, I'm home alone, so I was able to go like a bit harder on the voices, a bit louder than normal. I'm not sure how my new mic is handling me being like so close up with it, but hopefully it was a good episode for you. And we're going into my favourite case in the game. Next one, it's fucking... if you watched a recent episode of Persona 4, that is a character that is mentioned in that game, and that is in this game, as a historical figure in a test. They appear, and it's hell yeah, I like him. They're very good. It's a good fucking case. But I think we'll end that one here. So if you did enjoy, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. It'll help so much. Let us know you want to see more of this, and by all means, if this gets a bunch of likes, then I'll have the next episode out tomorrow if you're so fancy. But until next time, with all that said, I really do hope you've enjoyed. And thanks for watching, guys. My name's been Neremik, and peace out.